Sometimes the person you trust most is the one sharpening the knife behind your back. You know that feeling when everything you thought you knew about someone just crumbles, when the person you've been planning a future with turns out to be planning a completely different future without you. That's exactly what happened to me, and I'm still trying to process how someone could be so calculating, so cruel. My name is Alex, and until 3 months ago I thought I had my life figured out. I'd been with my fiancée Monica for almost 4 years. We met in college, started dating seriously after graduation, and got engaged last Christmas. She was everything I thought I wanted in a partner: smart, beautiful, ambitious. She worked in marketing for a tech startup, and I was doing pretty well as a software developer. We had plans, a wedding next fall, maybe kids in a few years, the whole American dream. But looking back now, I realized there were signs. Little things that didn't quite add up, but I was so blinded by what I thought was love that I just ignored them. It started about 2 months ago when Monica came to me with this idea. She said she wanted to throw herself a surprise birthday party, but she wanted me to help plan it. At first, I thought it was weird. I mean, how can you plan your own surprise party? But she explained that she wanted to make sure all the right people were there, and she knew I was good at organizing events. She'd seen me coordinate our friend groups' camping trips and game nights, so she trusted me to pull it off. I want it to be perfect, Alex, she said with these big earnest eyes. This might be my last birthday before we get married, and I want to celebrate with everyone who matters to me. How could I say no to that? I was actually touched that she wanted me to be so involved. It felt like she was including me in something really important to her, so I threw myself into planning this party. Monica gave me a list of about 60 people she wanted: invited friends from work, college buddies, some family members. Some names I recognized, others I didn't, but I figured she had a wider social circle than I realized. She was specific about certain details too. It had to be at the Riverside Event Center downtown, which seemed expensive for a birthday party, but she insisted. She wanted a specific caterer, specific decorations, even a specific DJ. I've been dreaming about this for months, she told me when I questioned the budget. Please, Alex, this is really important to me. What struck me as odd was how secretive she was being about certain aspects. She wouldn't let me see her phone when she was texting about the party. She said she was coordinating with some of her girlfriends to make sure they could all make it, but whenever I offered to help reach out to people, she'd get defensive. I've got it handled, she'd say. You focus on the venue and the catering, I'll handle the guest coordination. There were also these random phone calls she'd take in another room. When I'd ask who it was, she'd just say party stuff and change the subject. But again, I trusted her. I loved her. I wanted her to have the perfect celebration. The planning took about 6 weeks. I coordinated with the venue, booked the caterer, arranged for a photographer, even hired a videographer because Monica said she wanted to capture every moment. I spent evenings after work calling vendors, comparing prices, making sure every detail was perfect. It was actually kind of fun in a weird way. I felt like I was doing something really meaningful for the person I loved. Monica seemed happier during those weeks than I'd seen her in months. She was glowing, actually. More affectionate, more excited about everything. She kept talking about how everything was falling into place, and how this party is going to change everything. I thought she was just excited about celebrating with all our friends and family. The night before the party, Monica was practically bouncing off the walls with excitement. We'd planned for me to arrive about 30 minutes before the official start time to make sure everything was set up properly, and then she'd show up surprised when everyone else arrived. Thank you so much for doing this for me, she said that night, kissing me goodnight. Tomorrow is going to be perfect. You're going to be so surprised by how everything turns out. Something about the way she said that should have been a red flag, but I just thought she was grateful. The day of the party, I got to the venue early to do a final walkthrough. Everything looked amazing. The decorations were elegant, the catering setup was perfect, and the DJ was running sound checks. I felt this huge sense of satisfaction knowing I'd pulled off something that would make Monica so happy. Guests started arriving around 7. Monica's work friends, her college roommates, some people I didn't recognize but assumed were extended family or friends from high school. Everyone seemed excited, but there was this weird energy in the room that I couldn't quite place. People kept looking at me strangely, and I caught a few conversations that stopped abruptly when I got close. At 7:30, Monica arrived, and she looked absolutely stunning. She was wearing this beautiful emerald green dress I'd never seen before, and her hair was done professionally. She definitely didn't look like someone who was surprised by a party, but I figured she'd want it to look nice just in case. But then things started getting weird fast. Instead of mingling with everyone like I expected, Monica walked straight to the front of the room where the DJ was set up. She grabbed the microphone and the music stopped. Everyone turned to look at her and the room got completely quiet. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, she began, and her voice was confident, rehearsed. I know some of you have traveled pretty far, and it means the world to me that you're here for this special occasion. I was standing near the back of the room, smiling, thinking she was about to thank everyone for coming to her surprise birthday party, but something about her tone felt off. As most of you know, Monica continued, the past few months have been incredibly exciting for me. I've been planning for this night for a long time, and I'm so happy I can finally share my news with all the people I care about most. Wait, news? What news? And then she said something that made my blood run cold. I'm so excited to announce my engagement to the love of my life, Kevin Morrison. The room erupted in cheers and applause, but I felt like I was underwater. Everything became muffled and slow. I watched, almost like it was happening to someone else, as this guy I'd never seen before in my life walked up to the front of the room and kissed my fiancé on the mouth, Kevin Morrison. I'd never heard that name before, but apparently everyone else in the room knew exactly who he was. He was tall, maybe a few years older than me, wearing an expensive-looking suit, and the way he looked at Monica, it wasn't the look of someone who'd just got engaged. It was the look of someone who'd been with her for a long time. We wanted to share this moment with all our favorite people, Monica continued, her arm around Kevin's waist. Planning this party has been such a joy, and we can't wait to start this new chapter of our lives together. I just stood there, frozen. People were congratulating them, taking pictures, celebrating. And slowly it started to dawn on me what had happened. What I had done. I hadn't planned Monica's surprise birthday party. I had planned Monica's engagement party to another man. For weeks I had been organizing the celebration of her commitment to someone else. I had booked the venue where she would announce she was leaving me. I had hired the caterer to feed the guests who would congratulate her on choosing another man. I had arranged for a photographer to capture the moment my entire life fell apart, and the guest list. Suddenly it all made sense. Those names I didn't recognize weren't random friends of Monica's. They were Kevin's family and friends, people who had probably known about their relationship for months, maybe years, people who probably knew I was being played this entire time. I don't know how long I stood there before someone noticed me. It was one of Monica's co-workers, a woman named Patricia who I'd met a few times. She looked at me with this expression of pure pity and horror. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Alex, did you?" That's when Monica noticed me. Our eyes met across the room, and for just a second I saw something flicker across her face. Not guilt exactly, more like annoyance, like I was a problem she hadn't expected to deal with. She whispered something to Kevin, who looked over at me and then back at her. Then she started walking toward me, that fake smile still plastered on her face. "Alex," she said brightly when she reached me, like nothing had happened. "I'm so glad you could make it." "Make it," I repeated, my voice barely working. "Monica, what the hell is going on?" "Keep your voice down," she hissed, the mask slipping for a moment. "You're making a scene." "I'm making a scene. I'm making a scene." I could feel people starting to stare, but I didn't care anymore. "Monica, we're engaged. We're supposed to get married next fall." "What is this?" She looked around nervously, then grabbed my arm and tried to pull me toward a corner of the room. "Look, Alex," she said quietly, "this is complicated. Kevin and I, we have history. We dated in college before I met you, and we reconnected a few months ago. I didn't know how to tell you, so you had me plan your engagement party to him. I needed help with the planning, and you're good at that stuff. I thought maybe if you saw how happy I was, you'd understand." The casual cruelty of it was breathtaking. She'd had me spend 6 weeks organizing my own humiliation because it was convenient for her. But here's the thing about rock bottom, it gives you clarity. I looked at her standing there, still in the beautiful dress, still glowing with happiness about her new engagement, and I realized something. This wasn't a mistake or a moment of weakness. This was calculated. This was someone who had been living a double life and had decided the most efficient way to end our relationship was to have me unknowingly help her celebrate its replacement. And that videographer I'd hired, he was still recording everything. "You're right," I said loudly enough for people nearby to hear. "I am good at planning stuff, and you know what? I'm really glad I got such a good videographer for tonight." Monica's face went white. "Alex, what are you? Because now we have everything on tape," I continued, my voice carrying across the room. 4 years together, engaged for 8 months, and she had me spend 6 weeks planning her engagement party to another man. The room went dead silent. Even the DJ stopped what he was doing. "Ladies and gentlemen," I announced, walking toward the videographer, "you're not just celebrating Monica's engagement tonight. You're celebrating the most elaborate breakup in history. And thanks to the excellent planning skills she complimented me on, we have it all on video." I turned to the videographer, who was looking at me with wide eyes. "You got all that right? The whole confession, her explaining how she's been cheating and decided to have her fiancé plan her engagement party to her affair partner." Monica was trying to get to me, but Kevin was holding her back, probably realizing that this situation was spiraling way beyond what they'd planned. "Alex, please," Monica called out. "Don't do this." "Do what?" "Tell the truth." I looked around the room at all these people who had been watching me get humiliated. "Did you all know? Were you all in on this?" The silence was deafening. That's when I realized something else. This wasn't just about Monica and Kevin. This was about every single person in this room who had known what was happening and let me walk into it blind. These people had watched me organize my own heartbreak and said nothing. "Well," I said, looking directly at Monica, "I hope your marriage is everything your engagement party was. Dishonest, cruel, and built on using other people." I walked over to the catering table and picked up the microphone. "Enjoy the party, everyone. The food is excellent. I picked the caterer myself. The music is great. I spent hours finding the right DJ. And the venue is perfect. I toured 6 different places to find this one. Also, Monica could announce she's been cheating on me for months." I set the microphone down and headed for the door. As I passed the videographer, I slipped him my business card. "Send me a copy of everything," I said quietly. "I'm sure it'll be educational," and then I left. I walked out of the Riverside Event Center, got in my car, and drove home to the apartment I'd been sharing with someone who had just announced her engagement to another man at a party I'd planned and paid for. 3 months later, I'm still processing what happened. Monica texted me a few times in the days after the party, mostly asking me not to cause drama and to be mature about this. She wanted to talk about getting her stuff from our apartment, about splitting up our shared belongings, about ending things amicably. I blocked her number. Kevin reached out once, of all things. He sent me a Facebook message saying he hoped there were no hard feelings and that he was sorry things worked out this way. He said Monica had told him we were basically broken up already and that she'd been planning to end things with me anyway. I blocked him too. The videographer did send me the footage, all 3 hours of it, including the parts where Monica was clearly comfortable with Kevin, where they were obviously familiar with each other, where people were congratulating them like this had been expected for a long time. And yes, including the part where she admitted everything and asked me not to make a scene. I haven't decided what to do with that video yet. Sometimes I wonder if I should feel stupid for not seeing the signs earlier, for trusting someone who was playing me so completely. But mostly I just feel relieved. Relieved that I found out who she really was before I married her. Relieved that I didn't waste more years with someone capable of that level of deception, and I learned something about myself that night. When push comes to shove, when someone tries to humiliate me in front of 60 people, I won't just take it quietly. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person they're celebrating. Monica got her perfect engagement party, but I got something better. I got the truth. And sometimes the truth is the best revenge of all.